Hey everybody, what I'm going to attempt to do today is locate the battery on this Roadster Shop C2 Spec 7 chassis in the back behind the rear end. I like to keep my engine compartments clear, and if any of you guys have a C2 Corvette, you know how hard it is to get the battery in and out. So I am going to mount this in the back. So let's go, let's do it. Hope you get a charge out of it. I didn't mean that, sorry. So there's my Optima battery. It says battery right on it, so it must be. I can tell you this, it's a lot cheaper and a lot lighter than an Optima battery, but it is the exact dimensions of a side post Optima battery, one of their particular batteries. So anyway, this represents my battery. This represents how far my box, I'm gonna split the box and tilt the back portion back. And when I do that, this battery will simply tilt out like this. Well, it's easier to do it with one hand. It's hard to do, but anyway, it goes like that and comes out. So the battery to go back in will just go up and tilt right in the case, and then I'll be able to flip up this back portion, and then I have a flange here to bolt to on the bottom and the top. So let me show you the layout on paper. So the actual battery box will look something like this. This portion be in the back, and this would be a flange here and across the bottom and up this side. And then when you bolt this half, it just comes off, and then you can slide the battery out. It's split here, as you can see. So that's my rough drawing. This is an actual 2-scale layout. I want to get my angles correct. Here's going to be the flange. There'll be bolts coming through here and across the bottom. We'll just remove this front half, expose the battery. By that time, the battery was set here, like this. This is my Optima battery. So stay here like this, and as you can see, the posts will be here and here, and they will be exposed. So your side posts will be here and here. They'll be exposed. You pop the cables off, unbolt the flanges, and just take this front half off, and then you slide the battery right out. That's the best thing I could figure out that would work well and protect the battery. So let's lay this out on the I got a nice piece of heavier steel here. I forget what gauge it is. I'll check it out and tell you guys what I'm making it out of. So let's get started. I've laid out on the steel. By the way, this is 14 gauge steel, so it's 0.074 something. I just feel the way I'm building this box, this would be plenty heavy enough. So this would be the flange on the bottom to bolt together. What you're looking at now, this right here, up to here, is this portion. It is the back and the bottom here, and then this flange. So back, and I'll break it here, bend it. This will be the bottom, and then I'll bend this flange down. And that's where to bolt together. I put a little flange on top to give it some rigidity because of the 14 gauge steel. It's still heavy, but this will give it a lot more rigidity up at the top, and plenty of room for the battery there. So got that portion laid out. I need to run and get a metal cutting saw for my circular saw, because cutting this in my band saw over here would be a pretty big task and probably not as smooth. Same with any kind of hands, jigsaw or anything. So I'm going to get the circular blade for, I think it's 7 1/4. I've never used one of these before. I've used a metal cutoff blade in my regular chop saw, but I purchased this, the 7 1/4 goes in a skill saw type. I'm going to try it to cut out this 14 gauge to see what happens. Be quite honest with you, I was really impressed with using that metal cutting blade in a skilled saw like that. Very smooth cut, very fast cut. Really impressed. So let's go put this in the brake and see if I can bend it with my brake. I have the battery box basically cut out, tack welded. Trying to decide, do I want to weld it from the inside so the welds are hidden, or take it to my buddy and have him TIG weld the outside and make it look pretty cool like the chassis. You can see here I left the lip to weld on the outside. Yeah, it turned out nice. Of course, you remove this side to pull the battery out because there's not enough room to lift it up out when it's in on the Corvette. So pretty happy with it. I give you guys an idea how it sits up in there between these two braces that hold the control or anti-sway bar in the back. That's just simulated there. So I had to have clearance, make sure I didn't locate the box too low and hit the sway bar. So I got clearance there. May have to tweak that little lip I have on there, sorry. But anyway, you get the idea. It's sitting in there. I like the way it looks. Again, I got to make a cross member here. Not going to be that big as that piece of wood, but it'll be about 1 inch. Probably be the same material here, 1x2 tubing. I have to get that online somewhere. Yeah, pretty happy with this. Not sure if I'm going to try to weld it up myself or take it over to my buddy and have him TIG it, but we'll see. All right, this will give you a view of the cross member. As you can see, I put these insert nuts here, 3 of them, 1/4 inch. Here, I just took some square tubing, cut a piece off at an angle, and that gave me a nice gusset on both sides, welded that to the existing Roadster Shop bracing there, as you can see. Got some nice welds burnt in there. And then the other portion. So the other portion, this rests on that cross member, and then these 3 bolts here, 1/4 inch bolts, bolt to the cross member. And then if you look in the back of the box, there's a bracing here, and that goes to the existing cross member on the Roadster Shop chassis. I'll show you that real quick. That actually rests up here. And when I get the body off, I will do two of these insert nuts here on this cross member here. So yeah, it worked out nice and heavy duty. I mean, that thing is solid, but it needs to be for a heavy battery. So that's how it kind of fits in there. You see these 2 braces here that come in and hold the sway bar on both sides, and that's what I mounted to. Nice heavy duty bar system there. So let me show you with the battery box in. Before I stick the battery box in, I wanted to show you, I took this over to my buddy and he TIG welded all this very nicely. He TIG welded on the inside so it has a nice clean look on the outside. Once we bead blast this, it'll look extremely clean, but you can see the TIG welds. He's a great welder. Does a good job. I didn't want to weld this solid because I wanted to leave areas in case water got in here, it could drain out. I'll probably line this with some type of rubber or foam. This is where the battery, you can see it separates into two halves. So when this is mounted, you can actually unbolt the front and slide the battery out. The battery sits here and the two side posts are here, so you can have easy access. What I wanted to show you now, I measured an Optima battery, but this is a pretty good sized diehard deep cycle marine battery. As you can see, it fits in there nicely. Height-wise, it fits in nicely. Now, I wouldn't put this here because it's just going to be hard to get to these terminals up over the battery. You have to reach up and kind of do it blindly. But if you can notice if you have two side terminals coming out, like a lot of the late model GMs, it'd be perfect. I am going to design some kind of hold down bracket here. It goes down in. Probably weld a nut down in there. Yeah, it looks good. So there's a look one more time with the battery box in place. As you can see here, you got clearance here to undo or take off the side post, which will actually be up above this brace, so it won't hit this brace. And then if you wanted to remove it, you just remove these two, and the front half comes off, and the battery slides out. I know because I tested it, as long as it's a side post battery. So yeah, I like how it turned out. It's nice and solid. It gets a little more weight in the back of the car for traction, if you know what I mean. And it cleans up the engine compartment. If you guys are interested in one of these battery boxes for a Roadster Shop C2 Spec 7 chassis, let me know. I'm considering getting this, a few of these laser cut, formed, and made up for people. I'm not sure what I'm going to charge yet, but let's wait and see if people are interested first, and then we'll go from there. So thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Subscribe, please. I think we have a shocking result here. No pun intended. Yes, there was. Talk to you later. Bye.